Johann Adam Weishaupt was born on the 6th of February 1748 in Ingolstadt, Bavaria, part of the Holy Roman Empire. He died on the 18th of November 1830 at the age of 82 in Gotha, Saxe-Coburg-Gotha, German Confederation. The era in which Adam Weishaupt lived was called the era of Enlightenment. Adam's main interests were metaphysics and ethics. Adam's father died at a very young age, and when he was 5 years old, he came under the tutelage of his godfather, Johann Adam Freyer von Eichstätt, who, like his father, was a professor of law at the University of Ingolstadt. Eichstätt was a proponent of the philosophy of Christian Wolff and of the Enlightenment. He made a strong impression on the young Adam Weishaupt with his rationalism, and Weishaupt began his formal education at age 7 at a Jesuit school. He later enrolled at the University of Ingolstadt and graduated in 1768 at age 20 with a doctorate in law. In 1772 he became a professor of law. The following year he married Ephra Sausenhofer. After Pope Clement XIV's suppression of the Society of Jesus in 1773, Weishaupt became a professor of canon law, a position that was held exclusively by the Jesuits until that time. In 1775, Weishaupt was introduced to the empirical philosophy of Johann Georg Heinrich Feder of the University of Göttingen. Both Feder and Weishaupt would later become opponents of Kantian idealism. On the 1st of May 1776, Johann Adam Weishaupt founded the Illuminati in the Electorate of Bavaria. He adopted the name of Brother Spartacus within the order. A famous quote of Adam Weishaupt at the time read, and I quote, "At a time, however, when there was no end of making game of and abusing secret societies, I planned to make use of this human foible for a real and worthy goal, for the benefit of people. I wished to do what the heads of ecclesiastical and secular authorities ought to have done by virtue of their offices." Close quote. Adam Weishaupt believed that in the age of enlightenment, that the churches of the time as well as the governments of the time were abusing their powers and holding people back from progressing or being enlightened. Many historical references to the Bavarian Illuminati vary on the goal of the order, such as New Advent saying the order was not egalitarian or democratic internally, but sought to promote the doctrines of equality and freedom throughout society, while others such as Collier's have said the aim was to combat religion and foster rationalism in its place. The first concepts on the idea of enlightenment date back to the 14th century within writings and gained strength within the 15th century. Although Adam Weishaupt's idea was to start a network of people that would strive towards enlightenment, the actual character of the society was an elaborate network of spies and counter-spies. Each isolated cell of initiates reported to a superior, whom they did not know, a party structure that was effectively adopted by some later groups. Weishaupt was initiated into the Masonic Lodge Theodor zum Guten Rat at Munich in 1777. His project of illumination, enlightening the understanding by the Sun of Reason, which will dispel the clouds of superstition and of prejudice, was an unwelcome reform. Adam used Freemasonry to recruit for his own quasi-Masonic society with the goal of perfecting human nature through re-education to achieve a communal state with nature, freed of government and organized religion, presenting their own system as pure Masonry. Weishaupt and Adolf Freyer Krieger, who organized his ritual structure, greatly expanded the secret organization. Contrary to Immanuel Kant's famous dictum that enlightenment and Weishaupt's order was in some respects an expression of the Enlightenment movement, was a passage by man out of his self-imposed immaturity through daring to make use of his own reason without the guidance of another. Weishaupt's order of Illuminati prescribed in great detail everything which the members had obediently to read and think, so that Dr. Wolfgang Riedel has commented that this approach to illumination or enlightenment constituted a degradation and twisting of the Kantian principle of enlightenment. The independence of thought and judgment required by Kant was specifically prevented by the order of the Illuminati's rules and regulations. Enlightenment takes place here, if it takes place at all, precisely under the direction of another, namely under that of the superiors of the order. Weishaupt's radical rationalism and vocabulary were not likely to succeed. Writings that were intercepted in 1784 were interpreted as seditious, and the society was banned by the government of Karl Theodor, Elector of Bavaria, in 1784. Weishaupt lost his position at the University of Ingolstadt and fled Bavaria. Adam received the assistance of Duke Ernest II of Saxe-Gotha-Altenburg and lived in Gotha, writing a series of works on Illuminism, including a complete history of the persecution of the Illuminati in Bavaria, 1785, a picture of Illuminism, 1786, an apology for the Illuminati, 1786, and an improved system of Illuminism, 1787. Adam Weishaupt died in Gotha on 18th of November 1830. He was survived by his second wife Anna Maria and his children Nanette, Charlotte, Ernst, Karl, Edward and Alfred. Weishaupt was buried next to his son Wilhelm, who preceded him in death in 1802. After Weishaupt's order of Illuminati was banned and its members dispersed, it left behind no enduring traces of an influence, not even on its own erstwhile members, who went on in the future to develop in quite different directions. The directions taken by the previous members of the Illuminati, which numbered 2,000 towards the end, will clearly build a case for the quest for a new world order. The Bavarian Illuminati was a real organization that is entrained in world history. The numerous conspiracy theories around the order existing today has played out in numerous forms of the media. Although Bavaria at the time by decree outlawed any secret society, which include the Masonic lodges as well as the Illuminati, it did not stop the ideas and the founding statements of the Illuminati to live on until today. Being found guilty of being a member of a secret society at the time carried the death penalty, making it impossible for members to meet in secret. People scattered all over the world and continued with their quest for illumination under the manner set out by Weishaupt in the Bavarian Illuminati. We can see the methodology and thinking of the Bavarian Illuminati and Adam Weishaupt in many organizations, many of them secret, today. Although the idea of illumination was an old one starting 2 centuries before, the new idea of an organized structure with intellectuals that are more enlightened than others that you have to follow precisely to attain enlightenment has influenced the history of the world to this very day. The quest for this new enlightened world order has permeated throughout militaries and governments throughout the world. Many national leaders of countries speak openly about this new world order. To create this new enlightened world order, there were many things that had to take place as prescribed by Weishaupt in the order of the Bavarian Illuminati. The symbol used for the Bavarian Illuminati was the owl, a symbol still used today in many secret organizations. At the Bohemian Grove, members perform a ceremony called the Burning of Care under a huge statue of an owl. Many world leaders and influential people meet at Bohemian Grove annually to take part in this ritual. Although the concept of enlightenment was not new to Adam Weishaupt's era, the formation of the Bavarian Illuminati and their beliefs has had a lasting legacy for the future of the world. I will cover the numerous organizations that ascribe to Illuminati doctrine in many future videos, so please subscribe to my channel and click the notification bell so that you can get notifications when these videos are available. I will now focus on the overarching structures that have been set up in the world to make sure that Illuminati doctrine is played out to the end of time. The purpose of these structures are simple: to create a new world order where there are no more countries, boundaries, or governments. To make this happen, a one world leader, a one world government, and a one world religion will be required. To make it possible for a one world leader to exist, all governments need to be subject to this new plan and this new world order. Agreements to this effect have been made by numerous governments in the past and have already put into action the plans to make this happen. To enable a one world government, the leaders of all of these countries would have to form a part of this government with a single world leader. There needs to be one currency of exchange fully under the control of this government. All people that live under the system would have to be fully dependent on the system for survival. The need for a one world religion is vital to this plan, and various steps have been taken across the world to make this happen. The most important part for the New World Order to achieve their objectives is the schooling system. It is vital that all children are indoctrinated in New World Order philosophy and practice. It is very important for universities and other tertiary institutions of learning to enforce these doctrines so that these parents can teach their kids in the ways of the Illuminati. Although the Bavarian Illuminati as an organization does not exist today, their tenets and beliefs are being lived out by many people that consider themselves Illuminati amongst the people of the world. As I have said earlier, I will deal with all the various and numerous organizations that form a part of the Illuminati idea and that are continuously working towards this New World Order in detailed follow-up videos. We are living in times of a transition towards this New World Order, with a one world government and a one world leader. The easiest way to achieve this is to bring the population of the world to their knees, to a point where they will need intervention and help for their own survival. This is the best way for people to relinquish their freedom and subscribe to this New World Order. Besides the organizations fighting and striving towards this New World Order with a one world government and one world leader and one world religion, there are many good organizations fighting this ideology because they believe that this ideology is evil and is born from an evil place and an evil concept and headed by evil powers. The resistance against this move towards this new Orwellian New World Society is in full swing.